Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. Some of you may have noticed we saw an insane crypto crash yesterday. Mainly affected altcoins. Bitcoin took a huge tank too. But the main thing was that there was an insane amount of volatility. And I have my kind of portfolio and strategy set up so that volatility is my best friend. And later in this video, we're going to go over my AI trading bots. Yesterday was their best day ever. I'll just quickly spoil it here. Over $100 in a single day. So we're going to go over how that happened, why it happened, and kind of what to expect going forward. But mainly first, I want to go over kind of what happened yesterday and maybe what to expect. And then we'll take a look at my portfolio too and see how bad did I bleed with all of this drop. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. So right here we're looking at the Bitcoin chart just from the last 24 hours, and this is that volatility I'm talking about. So we were at 113,000, let's say, and within about 2 hours we dropped all the way down to, this says 110, but on some other charts I saw that we will drop down as low as 105,000. We'll check the Pionex chart here in a bit. So a massive drop within like 2 hours, and then a massive pump kind of back up to where we were. Which is actually pretty crazy. I mean, it looks like we really only lost like about $1,000 in Bitcoin value once the drop was over and done. But that is not the same for a lot of other cryptos. They got kind of hammered. So we will take a look at my portfolio here in a second. Supposedly, this was one of the biggest liquidation events in all of crypto. Trump sure knows how to kind of swing the markets in both the good and the bad. So you can see the COVID crash, 1.2 billion in liquidations. FTX crash 1.6, and today somehow 19 billion in liquidation. So just absolute insane. A lot of people who were super bullish got crushed today, and that's why I really don't ever look at like TA on charts. I think that is just such nonsense, maybe over the long term, but all it takes is one tweet to have the biggest liquidation event of all time. That to me makes TA basically irrelevant. So what was the one tweet? Basically Trump in retaliation is something China announced. I'm not totally up to date on what China announced, but Trump said that we're going to have essentially 100% flat tariff in addition to the tariffs we already have on China starting November 1st. So that's got not just crypto scared, even the stock market. So this is the QQQ chart. I'm zoomed way out here. This is like on the 5-year, but you can see yesterday we had an insane drop there. Yeah, so here's the 5-day chart on QQQ. So yesterday we were doing all right, and then boom, we bled the rest of the afternoon, and then bled aftermarket too, around 5% down on the NASDAQ, which is a significant drop. That does not happen very often. So it is big news. People are worried, and whenever QQQ and the NASDAQ falls 5%, crypto is going to fall substantially more than that. So before we get into my insane Pionex bot rewards, let's just see what happened in my portfolio. My portfolio was actually at its highest point ever just a few days ago. Let's see here. It was at like 10,800. And for those who are new to the channel, this is coins that I've mined over the past year, actually almost 2 years at this point. And we're normally hovering around 2,000, but just in the last 24 hours, $1,000 loss. So Bitcoin is down 7.5% in 24 hours. And then you're going to see some real bleeding here. So Aether, which is a D-pin device I have, 16.5%. Octaspace, looks like Octaspace actually rebounded insane. Octaspace was down like 20% when I looked yesterday. You can kind of see it on the little chart there. And it's hovering around that 43-cent mark that it constantly holds. So that's pretty impressive. GeoNet, 26%. ETH POW, 27%. Zilliqa, 27%. But as you can see, just a lot of bleeding. Flux is down 30%. So pretty crazy there, and a lot of my portfolio is in, not a lot, but you can see my chart here. I'm in 66% in Bitcoin, and then the other 33% split among a bunch of other coins. And it still hurt pretty bad, so down over $1,000 on that. But today is about my AI trading bots, because this is exactly why I run these things. While other people are getting burnt, getting liquidated on their longs, they're over leveraged, my AI trading bots had the best day that they've ever had yesterday, and I'm excited to show you guys. So last night before bed, I just happened to look at my trading bots, and I saw in the last 24 hours that my bot has traded 37 times. We'll go over this one down here in a minute. But what does that mean? So normally this bot will trade on like a 1% swing up and down. You'll get one trade. You'll buy a little bit of Bitcoin when it's low, and then when it goes up an X amount, it'll sell a little bit. And then if it goes back down, it'll rebuy. And it just does that over and over again. Well, yesterday, since we went down like 10% and then up 10%, it made a ton of trades. 37 trades is the most I've ever seen it make in a day. And what does that mean in terms of how much dollars it generates? How much are those trades actually worth? Well, that is where, if we go into the transactions section here, we can actually look and see how much we generated from each trade. So right here is the main column, profit USD, and it's this number up here. So on average, I'm making about $2.28 or $2.29 per trade. And you can see the times on these. So this would be 648. They just kept coming through. All of them are on 1010. And all of these trades are generating, like I said, $2.27. So let's quickly pull up a calculator here. 37 trades times $2.27 per trade. That's $84 in liquid cash. And we're going to withdraw these in a second and reinvest it back into the bot, because this thing is killing it and I want to just keep feeding money into it. Now, my second bot here is a similar bot. We'll go over the differences between these, but this bot actually traded 40 times in the last 24 hours, but this bot makes a little bit less than the others. And by the way, I will have my Pionex sign up link down below. This is not a sponsored video, but I live and die by Pionex. I love their bots, and it's extremely low fee exchange. If you're like cashing out Bitcoin to your bank, don't use Coinbase. The fees are going to destroy you. Pionex is by far the lowest fee US exchange that I've found, and it's my main one. So in terms of this other bot, the transactions are making about 57 cents per trade. So not nearly as high as my other bot, but I'll explain why in a second. And so 40 trades times 57 cents, what are we looking at there? Well, if we do 40 times 0.57, that's an additional $22. So if we add that to our $84, you can see yesterday alone, or I guess the last 24-hour period, $107 in profit, which is awesome. Like, that is the best they've ever done, and I expect the volatility to continue with all this tariff news. Obviously, there's going to be rebuttals from China. Maybe we back off a little bit, and that price is going to continue to swing. So now would be a good time to make one of these grid trading bots with just some extra change if you have some laying around. Again, I will have my sign-up link down below. So what is the difference between these two bots? Why did this one generate $80 while this one only generated $20? And the difference is that this one has a much tighter price range, which means it only operates within that price range. It's going to buy and sell Bitcoin only in that range. And if it leaves that range, it's going to stop trading. And you'll notice that the price range on that bot is only $20,000 wide. It's between $105,000 and $125,000. And it just so happens that in the 135 days that this bot has ran, Bitcoin has stayed within that range basically 99.9% of the time. We went up to like 126 at one point, and maybe we went down to like 103 at one point. But in general, it stayed literally perfectly within our range. It was such a good range to get. And that's why it makes more money, because we're basically kind of betting that Bitcoin's going to stay in that tighter range. Now, if it leaves to the bottom, you're going to be in 100% Bitcoin, because as the Bitcoin price goes down, the bot is buying, buying, buying. So if we drop to 100K, we're just 100% in Bitcoin, no different than if you just bought and hold Bitcoin. And if we go above 125K, then we're in all cash, because the bot's selling, selling, selling all the way up until we have no more Bitcoin at 125K. So that's how it works. And so this one has a tight range, which makes a good profit on the trades that it makes. where this bottom one has a range of over 100K. So it's a little, you could say, less risky. It has a wider range to operate, and therefore is going to make less profit per trade. But extremely good results here. So what I want to do is I want to cash out both of these bots. So what we're going to do here is, if you go to more, release profit, and I want to do both of these grid trading bots. Let's do OK. And you can see here that I'm going to be cashing out $260 right now. And when was the last time I cashed these out, you might ask? Well, I made a video 12 days ago where I cashed out these bots. You can see right here, and that was another $100 then. So within 12 days, these bots have generated another $260 for me to cash out. So let's go ahead and cash this out. And then I'm going to roll these back into this top bot here because it's just absolutely killing it. Might as well. One thing I forgot to mention, one of those bots is in USD, the other is in USDT. So you can see here I've now got $200 in tradable USDT and $230 in tradable USD. So since that bot is the one I want to add to is USD, we need to convert that USDT into USD. I'll show you how to do that real quick. Super easy again. So all you're going to do is go to USDT here. You're going to go to trade. So on the left side here on the trade screen, you'll see convert. And we want to convert USDT to USD. We'll hit our max value here. And you can see we're only going to lose $1 in fees on a $200 conversion. That's extremely, extremely low. Try to do that on another site. So let's hit convert here. We should get our $201 of USD. And then I'll show you how to kind of put this back into the bot so we can continue getting more and more dollars per transaction. Because when I first built this bot, I was probably only making $2 per transaction, but I've fed all the profits into it, and now it's all the way up to $2.27 per trade. So from the bot screen, now we want to go to add investment. And here we can easily add our $431, and we should be good to go. So boom, now it shows total investment at $16,260. So the one last thing I want to show you about these before I talk about what to do next, what to expect in the coming months. So you can see here that my yearly arbitrage, my APR, is 14.36% right here. So I am generating an additional 14.36% off of my Bitcoin right now in this bot, which is crazy. And this bottom bot is at 6.21. So just to describe how good of a day yesterday was, my APR was at 12%, and with all those trades I got in the past 24 hours, it bumped my yearly APY/APR up to 14%, an extra 2.5% from one day, which is crazy. So that is all finished now. I'm going to continue letting that thing just print money. It's absolutely amazing. I do have a full playlist of these bots I'll leave up here if you're interested maybe in creating a different one. I'll also leave a link down below so you can copy this one once you make an account if you don't already have one. So what happens next? I want to quickly cover this on the way out. Well, I am not too worried, honestly, because Trump is known to make these just kind of not irrational, but just out of the blue tweets and tariff changes, and they really tank the markets. But it seems like the main thing that he cares about, he's not going to let the market just crash and bleed under his watch. That's not what he's about. And so similar to this tweet right here, pressure first, deal later, fast market recovery. Before I even saw this tweet, that was my kind of theory as well. Just as a reminder on what happened with the tariffs the last time around. So we had a massive crash in February of 2025 for tariffs again, and a lot of people were selling here. I was actually buying stocks because I did not think that this was going to be permanent, and then boom, one tweet later, we are already back to all-time high. So this little drop right here is where we're at now. I would maybe throw a little bit money in now. The more that it continues to drop, be feeding more and more money in. This is not financial advice, obviously, but that's what I'm going to do. And honestly, a trading bot right now would be like the perfect time to capitalize. So I'll leave a few extra videos on trading bots on the way out here if you're interested in checking them out, and let me know if you have any questions on them. But other than that, guys, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you didn't lose too much in this crash, and I'll see you next time.